So I entered into this wholesale establishment to pick up some groceries, and just to give you um, sort of a vision of how it was when this wholesale has a very small entrance at the front. The width of the entrance is probably, say, 8 by 4, but eight is say about maybe 10 feet in width, and the length is about 4 feet. So it's a very small entrance, and at the entrance there is a window that you go up to place your order. And so I am not one that, so you understand, I'm not one that shops at the regular supermarkets where you get inside and you have a cart and you go in and you go ahead and pick up your items. I no longer shop like that, because the situation is this: for you to shop like that, they're going to enforce the wearing of a face mask. And I am one that, my husband and I, we do not embrace the wearing of a face mask. And I know that maybe majority of the people who are hearing me right now will not agree with that decision, and I understand that, and I respect that. Okay, but nonetheless, we choose not to embrace it. And the reason why we do not embrace it is because we do not really believe that a face mask could protect anyone from being being affected by this pestilence that is now in all of the nations. So, and I don't believe in promoting a lie. I don't believe in trusting in a lie, and worst, using my body to promote a lie. I don't believe in doing that. So, no, I can't. I just simply cannot do that, because I don't believe at all that it protects anyone from being affected from the pestilence. Okay, so what my means of protection in these days that we're currently in right now is to make sure that my covenant of divine protection is active. And so that for me, that requires faith with works. When you say God is your shield, you got to walk like that. You got to talk like that. You got to live that life. My husband and I, we don't embrace or practice the wearing of a face mask, period. So, long story short, so we went to this wholesale that we have been doing business for quite some time now, because they're not ones that are obsessed with enforcing the wearing of a face mask. They're just pretty much a business establishment that's there just to to provide you with the products. They make their money, and you pay them and you go home. So they're not one that's out there trying to enforce the wearing of a face mask. Okay, period. So we have been doing business with them, not wearing face mask. And so this happened 2 days ago, and as I was at the counter at the window, a lady behind me, she's a customer, she approached me and she said to me, you're not wearing your face mask. So I replied to her, one of the replies that I said to her was, well, you're wearing your face mask. Why are you concerned about me not wearing my face mask? Anyway, she didn't like that. And of course, I'm not surprised that she doesn't like that. Anyway, she continued to say, if I don't respect my life, then I must at least respect the lives of others. And then I think there was another man, he's a male, is also a customer. He was saying that it is the law of the land for me to wear a face mask. And then the same lady that approached me, she was also saying that it's a sign of brotherly love when when you wear a face mask. So all these reasonings were very good. They're very eloquent reasons that they are given to me why I should wear a face mask. It's not really good, and they sound right, and they sound fair, and I've heard them before. But I'm still not convinced by them. I'm not moved by them. I'm not convicted in my heart by them. And the reason why I'm not convicted in my heart by them is, the way you show brotherly love has nothing to do with wearing a face mask. Okay, I won't get into that here. The Bible tells us how we show brotherly love. Okay, and it has nothing to do with restricting your breath or hindering your breath so your brother will be pleased. Okay, it has nothing to do with that. And then, and above the other reasons, I just, like I said, they're very good reasonings. They sound really good. They're very eloquent. Intellectually, they are correct. And so I just, what could I say? There's nothing I could have said. In my own understanding to rebuke those remarks. So to rebuke those reasonings, it's either so I didn't know what to say. So suddenly I heard the Spirit of the Lord say to me, this you cannot do on your own. So you cannot deal with the situation on your own. And immediately I erupted in the middle of the store, people, speaking in tongues. I erupted in the middle of the store, speaking in unknown tongues. Go figure. And so immediately after that happened, I got the interpretation as to what the tongues meant. And this is what the tongues declared. When I spoke in tongues, this is what the tongues that I spoke declared. And so it was given to me, the interpretation. And I turned around and spoke to the lady, but I spoke to her in my Jamaican dialect. And so this is what was said. When you're on a hospital bed, can a face mask save you? When you're on a hospital bed from this pestilence, can a face mask save you? This is what the question that was given to me to ask the lady after I got the interpretation, when I erupted in tongues. She couldn't answer me. She looked down to the ground and she began to ponder the question, but she couldn't answer. Then the other part of the interpretation was this. This is what I continued to say to her because I didn't get a response to her. This is the other part of the interpretation. I said to her, the people of the nations are faced with a deadly pestilence, and you're out here, along with your prime minister of this country, are pushing the wearing of a face mask for protection. That's what you're looking to for protection in this deadly pestilence here. That's what you're looking to for protection. Because that's basically what most of the nations are doing, if not all of them. They're saying the only way you could get out of this situation here is to look to a face mask and to look towards getting yourself jabbed. That's what they're telling you is the answer. So the Spirit of the Lord is pointing out, is asking this lady, you are here promoting the wearing of a face mask and injecting yourself with a jab as the solution to this deadly pandemic, to this deadly pestilence that is cutting off the lives of people. So that's something for you to think about. And so when I was saying that to her, when I asked her those questions, she couldn't reply. And so eventually she said she's going to leave. She decided she's going to leave. So she just gave up the fight and just took off. Anyways, the man that was in the back was still on fire for me. He was saying, I am required by the law of the land to wear a face mask. So my husband came in, and my husband didn't come in like that. My husband overheard the man speaking that in the store, because he was outside, and immediately he came in, and he came in the way of the Spirit. He came in the authority and the power of the Spirit of God, and he said, I am the law of the land. He said it in a very authoritative tone, and he was very forceful with it. I am the law of the land. Now, someone hears that and they're saying, what the heck is he saying? But so you understand the way of the Spirit. When he says that, he's declaring, the Spirit of God that's in him is declaring, I am the law of the land. So, in essence, he's saying the law of the land is what the Spirit of God says it is. Not what unrighteous, God-forsaken men are saying it is. Men in higher places that are exalting themselves above the righteousness of God. The law of the land is not what they say. The law of the land is what the great God, I am, is what he says the law of the land is. So when he states, I am the law of the land, he is declaring to the unseen realm that he is, that the great I am is the law of the land, not what. The law of the land has nothing to do with what the disrespectful, God-forsaken, secular government are saying. It has nothing to do with what they are saying. Especially if it is in complete opposition to what God Almighty wants us to do. And so when he declared that, the man that was saying that I need to observe the law of the land, that man became very quiet. He was extremely quiet, folks. That was the end of that conversation. So, just so you understand, the law of the land that is according to God's righteousness is this. We are commanded to stand in liberty and not to come into bondage. That is the law of the land. He expects us to stand in liberty and not to fall into bondage. That's the law of the land that we follow. And that's what I submit to, and that's what my husband submits to as well. So and that's what we believe. I'm not saying, okay, I'm not here to get into a dispute about that. Let every man be convicted in his own mind. Let every man be convinced in his own mind about such. So I'm just here to share with you that incident that occurred in my life. And so, and to express that the law of the land is not what unrighteous, God-forsaken, disrespectful men in higher places are saying that it is. No. It is what the great I am says that the law of the land is. That's what we as the elect should surrender to, should submit to. Be blessed.